Good for all our basic shit and sharing cut lines and everything else. Adding on your 3mm for your miters, 1mm per section for your straight cuts. Now we're going to try something a little more complex. So we're going to start a new file, which is just hold Control and N. Sorry, make sure I'm there. Cancel. Hold Control N. New file. Now this is one that's going to do some weird fucking miters, and the machine constraints are going to fuck you up and not allow you to do it. So let's draw a basic. It's going to be an L-shaped bench top with a radius. The radius and parts of the bench top are going to be mitered, and some of it is going to be at 4 degrees with an outward angle to allow you to buff out that angle and get rid of the cut lines and make it perfect. So we'll start with just selecting the rectangle, left click, and we will do the overall dimensions of the bench top. That is the main surface area of the main bench top. Start in the left corner, left click once. Oops, sorry. Make sure it's going to do this. Left click once, drag out our rectangle. Left click again to execute. Over here we're going to make that 900 wide by 700 tall and hit OK. Zoom out, right click, escape, zoom out. Looks a bit, I'm going to change that a little. So I'll select my polyline in the browser. I'm going to make it 500 tall. There we go. These are just temporary lines, construction lines if you like, because we're going to have to trace over it in several sections to allow for our miters. Doesn't matter what angle it's what it's keeping now, because it's just a construction line. So I want to have a bench top that is 250 wide from the top in our L shape. So knowing that let's make it 300 wide just to make things a little easier and not so symmetrical. So I'm going to start another box anywhere over here and just do that. That's basics. So over here, I want the width that is from here to here. I want that to be, we'll go, yep, 300 is good. We want the height to be 200 because we want to allow for our 300 bench top here. Anyway, so I'm going to make that 200. Hit enter, brings that all down. So just need to make sure. Yep. Okay, and the starting point, because I made the overall bench, let's right click, escape. Let's show the overall bench size, 900 by 500. Okay, so 900 minus our 300 bench tops leaves us with 600. So I go back to the other polyline I made. You can see the starting point is 600, that's here. It is 300 wide, perfect, 200 tall. So now I want to make the next part of the bench top as a construction line. Right click, escape, click on your rectangle, and I want to start it around here. I know it's on the right spot because I've made it perfect whole numbers. Left click, snap to the grid. There we go. So I've got 300 from here to here. 300 from here to here. My construction lines, I'm going to want a radius in here later. So, knowing they're my construction lines, I can get rid of all 3 of them later on. Right click, escape. Now I need to do a manual line to put it in segments and trace around the job to make it so that when I do my weird miters and odd angles, it's going to compute. Otherwise, the machine constraints will tell you it's not going to work. So, because I want this edge mitered here with the radius that I'm going to put in later, I'm going to do this line in one section. So, ready? This line to here, keep going down to here, right click, OK. I made sure it snapped on each corner with the little square as I hovered over it. So now I've added another polyline. That's this one here, polyline here. So I'm going to break up most of these into another sections so I can do separate miters. So the next line I'm going to do, still on the manual line here, I'm going to start here, make sure it's snapped, go over to the corner, make sure it snaps, click left mouse button again. That's all I want for that one. Go OK. Now I'm going to make another polyline, starting at that point, make sure it snaps, click left mouse button, go to the next one, click the left mouse button, make sure it snaps. I'm going to go OK again, because it allows me to just do that line there, angle later on. I'm going to do another line. I'm going to make these two together, just because I know it's going to work, experience. I'm going to click, make sure it snaps, that one to there. Right click and go OK. So I've now got another polyline from there to there. And then the last one I have to do to join it all together is this vertical one. So I'm going to make a polyline from there to, zoom out to here. Make sure it snaps. Right click, go OK. Now I can delete all of my construction lines, which were all the polys to start off with. So I can right click, escape. I go 1, you see that that's the outside box here with the little bounding squares there. I'm going to go 2, that was this one here, and 3, which is that larger one there. And I right click up here in the polyline browser and go to delete selected, and now it leaves me with my L-shaped bench top. Right click, escape. Now I want to put in a radius, a massive radius here, which I'm going to mitre later. So I need to go right click with nothing selected, right click, chamfer. I want to go to fillet and put in a radius. So I know that's 300, let's just make it 280. Massive radius, 280. Okay, I click on this line and then this line, and it puts in my radius. Right click, escape. Now everything is okay except for I'm not keeping the right side of the job and my angle cuts are going the wrong way. So I want to go edge select and click on the poly. It's only giving me this one line, which is fine. I want to select all and make them all 0. Right click, escape. All objects, edge select, 0. Okay, made them all 0, and I want to make them I want to make them clockwise so that it puts everything in the middle. So I'm keeping the internal pieces. Right, now here's where it gets a bit tricky. If I want to do a mitre for this edge along here to here and make that 46 degrees, I need to look at the angle, the direction of travel for the machine head. Click point select, start in this corner, make sure it snaps, left click the mouse button over there and left click, make sure it snaps there and go 46. Beautiful. That's put it in, we know it's cutting in towards the bench, that's fine. Now I want a mitre on this edge as well, just from there to there though. So right click, escape. Point select, make sure it snaps on that corner, make sure it snaps to that point as well. It's not going to allow nothing. This is where the constraints thing comes in as a problem. So to fix this, right click, escape. I can, because I made that a separate polyline, I can just go edge select and then select that polyline and go 46. That has worked. In some cases it might not work. In some cases I might need to highlight the whole group first, right click, escape, highlight the whole group, go edge select, make them all 46 and then work backwards line by line to correct my angles. So right click, escape. I want this little line 46, I want that one 46, I want that one 46. All these others I want at 4. But because I separated my lines, I should be able to do that. So right click, escape, point select, direction of travel. I'm going to click on this one first and zoom in, make sure it snaps. Then zoom out. Zoom in on this corner, make sure it snaps. I'm going to make that 4 degrees, but I want it to tilt outwards, so I'm going to go tilt left. Here we go. It's going to cut 4 degrees out that way. Click OK, changes to 4. I want to do the same to these other points. Again, following the rotation, direction of rotation, of travel, sorry. Point select, click on that last edge, that corner. Oh, not allowing me to do it. Right click, escape. It should be allowing me to do it. We'll try and do edge select because I made it a separate line. I'm going to click on here, make that 4 degrees tilt left, done. Right click, escape, escape. I'm going to have to do the same thing here. I can do edge select or point select, but because I know it's the one line, edge select will only select that one polyline. Select it, see, oh, one polyline, it's not showing you, 4 degrees, tilt left, it's done it. Right click, escape, escape. Now that is our complex mitre.